the East versus West source code, an audit of history. I am your host, Jay. We have been told a lie for 5,000 years. We have been told that the East and the West are two different worlds. We have been told that the Bible and the Vedas are competing books. We have been told that science and spirituality are enemies. But today, we are going to run an audit. We are going to look at the source code of history. And what we are going to find is that there are not two different stories. There is only one story. One side read it from left to right. The other side read it from right to left. Welcome to the Time Intelligence Audit. Let's start with the software. Let's look at the words you use every day. We call this linguistic tunneling. I'm going to give you 3 levels of connection that prove the Western tradition is actually a fork of the Eastern code. Level 1. The name. In the West, you revere Jesus. The Hebrew root is Yeshua. In the East, in Sanskrit, the word for the Lord or the Master is Isha. Whether you say Isha or Yeshua, you are invoking the exact same function, the master of the 0 point, the one who controls the matrix. Level 2. The title. In the West, he is the Christ. The Greek root is Christos, meaning the anointed one. In the East, we have Krishna. In Sanskrit, the root Krish means to draw or to attract. But look closer. In ancient Bengali and Eastern dialects, Krishna is pronounced Christo. Phonetically, KRSN and KRST are the same vibration. They both represent the divine spirit entering matter. One is the avatar of blue infinity. The other is the avatar of white light. But the code is identical. Level 3. The event. Why is Christmas on December 25th? The Bible says it is the birth of the Son of God. But ancient astronomy tells a different story. On December 21st, the winter solstice, the sun reaches its lowest point in the sky. It effectively dies for 3 days. Then, on December 25th, it moves 1 degree north. It is born again. In Sanskrit, we call this Ottoriane, the shift from the darkness of the south to the light of the north. The West celebrates the birth of the sun. The East celebrates the rebirth of the sun. It is the same festival. It is the return of light to a world trapped in entropy. If you want the root of the entire tree, look at the fathers of the religions. The West has Abraham and his wife Sarah. The East has Brahma, the creator, and his consort Saraswati. A Brahma, Saraswati. It is the same software patch. The administrator names are almost identical. Now let's switch from the software to the hardware. Because the ancients didn't just code words. They coded biology. We see a massive difference in how the East and the West handled the concept of family and marriage. Science calls this breeding patterns. I call it genetic engineering. The Richies of the East were not just monks. They were geneticists. They understood that the human body is the hardware required to run the software of consciousness. If the hardware is buggy, the software cannot load. So they built an algorithm. We know it as the Varna system, combined with the strict rules of Gotra and Sapinda. You might know the rule. You cannot marry someone within 7 generations of your father's side or 5 generations of your mother's side. Why? Was it prejudice? No. It was a firewall. The Rishis realized the danger of recessive entropy. If you married too close to your bloodline, the glitches in your DNA amplify. The defects double down. By forcing marriage outside the genetic lineage, exogamy, but keeping it inside the cultural aptitude, Varnata achieved 2 things. 1. Genetic diversity. They killed the recessive diseases. 2. Mimetic preservation. They kept the software of their traditions intact. This was controlled evolution. It was designed like a stud book for thoroughbred horses. The goal was to produce a human being capable of dharma and moksha. Now look at the Western pattern. Historically, the West operated on 2 extremes. First, you had the royals, the aristocracy. They tried to keep the blood too pure. They married first cousins to keep the wealth in the family. This was a failure of order. It led to the Habsburg jaw, hemophilia, and madness. They collapsed because they didn't have the Sapinda firewall. They had too much order, which led to biological rot. Then you have the modern West. The marketplace. Here, marriage is based on romantic chemistry or socioeconomic status. It is a randomizer. It creates high variance. Sometimes this creates geniuses. Sometimes it creates broken homes. It is a high-risk, high-reward strategy based on the chaos of entropy. So what is the conclusion of the audit? The West mingled socially. The East filtered genetically. The West built a society of individuals, optimized for freedom and adaptability. The East built a chain of civilization, optimized for stability and memory. One is not better than the other. They are different mechanisms for survival. But do not think for a second that these were accidents. The words you speak and the blood in your veins were engineered by architects who understood the code long before we did. The question is not which side you are on. The question is, are you ready to read the manual? I am Panche Manchanda, aka J Lotus, and this is Time Intelligence. See you in the next episode or the season, as I operate on seasons, not episodes. Bye now.